Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Southern Gal True Crime. Hope everybody is doing well this morning, afternoon, evening, whatever part of the world you may be in watching this or watching on replay. Welcome to Southern Gal True Crime. I'm Dawn. I share missing persons, cold cases, current true crime in the news, and more. The cases that I share, the missing persons and cold cases I share, are the ones that don't get the national attention. Unfortunately, they don't get the local attention they deserve. So those are the kinds of cases that I share on this channel. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like, share, comment, all those things help us smaller channels like mine get into the YouTube algorithm, and it pushes it out to more people. And that is the most important thing, is to get this information out to as many people as possible. So, hold on, let me, I forgot to do some settings, so I will, if I disappear, I will be right back, I promise. Gotta check some settings. I think I got my settings set right. Sorry about that. I forgot to clear out my notifications. Sorry about that. I forgot to check my settings before I started. Anyway, welcome once again. Today is our Missing Person Monday video. So I have six missing persons cold cases that I'm going to share with you. These I usually try to do on my Missing Person Monday episodes, I usually try to put some cases together that have themes, but I was trying to clear out my browser, and so I just put these cases together. Some of these cases are mysterious circumstances. Some of these cases, there are persons of interest. There are a couple that arrests have been made. I don't think there's any convictions in any of these. But like I said, I just that's why I called it in the thumbnail, a missing person roundup. I'm sort of clearing out my browser. All these cases obviously are important. So I just put those together today. Let's see what we got going on. Hello, Michigan Wifey. Michigan Wifey is here. My OG. She's been here with me from the beginning. Good to have you here, my dear. I hope you and everybody enjoy or find this information that I'm going to share interesting, informative, helpful. Please do share this video or this live stream after it's over, just to get this information out to as many people as possible. So we'll see if any other people are going to pop in here. I hope everybody's weather is doing good, good today. Here in Arkansas, it's okay right now, but we're supposed to have severe weather, thunderstorms, possibly tornadoes later this afternoon. So hopefully it won't get too bad, but it's our severe weather season here in the southeast where I'm located. So I'm gonna keep an eye. As soon as I get done with this live stream, I'm gonna go check the local weather and the Weather Channel, and hopefully we won't get too bad storms. But I'm gonna keep an eye on the weather today. So we will get started, and I'm apologize. I've noticed I record everything through my phone, through my Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone, and my cell service is not too reliable sometimes. So I apologize if it's kind of, if it pixelates a little bit and the sound gets a little tinny or distorted. Maybe one of these days I can afford to get a real proper Wi-Fi or internet. So Michigan Wifey says I'll have to keep an eye on the Weather Channel. Jinx, yeah. I was watching the Weather Channel earlier when I got up, and they were saying that we're in the target zone for severe weather, but we're used to it here in Arkansas. I've lived in Arkansas all my life, over 50 years, and giving away my age, but so we're used to it. So if anything gets close, I'll either jump in the bathroom in the bathtub with a pillow over my head, or if I have enough time, I'll go to town. They do have safe rooms in town. I live out in the country, but I'm only about 5 to 10 minutes drive to town, and they open up the schools. All the schools have safe rooms. The fire department has a safe room, so there are plenty of places to go in case it gets bad. But before I babble on for too long, we will get started, because I've been called out saying you talk too much in your live stream, so we just want to get to the information. I understand that, so we will get started. So before we get into, while we're waiting to see if some more people pop in, I found this on the Arkansas Justice Project, and I found it very interesting. Makes some very good points, considering, unfortunately, all the cases that we've been hearing about lately in the news about all these kids that have gone missing, and a lot of them, unfortunately, have been found deceased by parents, step-parents, boyfriends. It just seems like, and it's maybe just because it's the 24-hour news cycle that we hear so much more about these cases. Anyway, this says, you can see that horrible picture there, or drawing, but it says, stop leaving your kids with them. Stop leaving your children with your boyfriends you barely know. Stop letting your family members that you don't entirely trust watch them because it's free. If you have a gut feeling about someone that doesn't sit right with you when it comes to your child, cut all ties with this person. If your little one comes to you and says, I don't want to stay with a particular person, do me, it says, do me a favor and listen to them. And this is a quote according Cody Brett. Like I said, I don't know who Cody Brett is, but I just found this on the Arkansas Justice Project website, I think last night, when I was looking for updates on current missing persons, and that I'm going to share with you before we get into our cold cases. But I thought, I agree with everything that's said here. And it doesn't matter if it's a family member, a friend, if you use your instinct, your gut instinct. If you think there's something wrong, or especially if your child comes to you and says, hey, I don't want to stay with this person, they might not be comfortable telling you why they don't feel comfortable staying with this person, but definitely listen to your kids. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of adults don't give kids enough credit. Maybe they think they're overreacting, but just listen to your kids. It comes down to that. Listen to your kids. All right, so we were going to start out with some current missing persons. I usually just feature one current missing person before I get into the video, but we have all in the Memphis area, Arkansas area, Tennessee area. There are a lot of silver alerts, a lot of children that are missing, so I'm just going to share those quickly. This is a newer one I came across. This is Waverly Taylor. He is a black male, 5'11", 107 pounds. He was last seen wearing a long sleeve blue shirt, blue. I don't know if they cut it off as his icons. I don't know if it means moccasins, like shoes. A yellow pullover. So, well, it's not shoes because it says he's wearing gray work boots. And this is out of the Memphis area. And I can't read the small writing on the right side, but all the pertinent information you need to know is there on the left. So please keep an eye out if you're in the Memphis area for Mr. Waverly. I think it says he is considered in danger, missing, a silver alert. They didn't call it a silver alert, but in most states, when you have an older person that goes missing, it's called a silver alert. So, like I said, please, in the Memphis area, West Memphis area, please keep a lookout for Mr. Waverly. And it probably gives a phone number somewhere. Like I said, you can do a screenshot of this and enlarge it to read the information on the right-hand side, and it probably gives a phone number. Or just call local Memphis PD, call 911. They can get you in touch with the right people. Another silver alert that we have here in Arkansas, this is Robert William Brown Jr. He went missing on the 29th of February. I keep wanting to say this month. I still haven't gotten used to the idea that it's March already. He went missing February 29th of this year from Texarkana, Arkansas. He is a white male, 5'10", 170 pounds, with a brown crew cut and blue eyes. He was last known to be at a house at the end of PR 1209 near, it's not available. I do have and I should have got this going. For right now, my second self, my computer is cooperating with me, but I do have a backup plan if my laptop poops out. I do have an update. In my opinion, we always hope for the best and keep hope alive. But they are doing a very extensive search. So this article comes from KSLA News 12. And it is from, I believe, yesterday. Let's see if it tells. From March 3rd. So today is the 4th, so it's from yesterday. And it says authorities scour 250 acres for missing man. It says a silver alert has been issued for the Texarkana, Arkansas resident, Mr. Brown here. An active search for a Texarkana, Arkansas man continued today. Robert William Brown Jr., 77, has been missing since noon Thursday on February 29th. Authorities were back out Sunday, yesterday, scouring a 250-acre area in the vicinity of Arkansas Highway 82, Miller County Road 18, and Private Road 1209, according to the Miller County, Arkansas Sheriff's Office. The search contingent includes multiple first responders, canines, 2 civilian helicopters, and it says that someone is also bringing in a boat. And I would not be surprised if the Cajun Army out of Louisiana has come in to help for this search. If you're not from these parts, the Southeast region, the Cajun Army is a group of volunteers that when any kind of natural disaster occurs, any missing persons, anything happens, They have floods. They cover a lot of, do a lot of high water rescues, flood water rescues. Wonderful group. I do believe they probably have a Facebook page or a website, but it's called the Cajun Navy. It's out of Louisiana, but they go to all different surrounding states in this region to help out wherever they're needed. They do very good work. So Mr. Brown was last known to have been at a house at the end of Private Road 1209 in Texarkana. So I'm assuming this is a very rural area, part of Arkansas. Texarkana is a fairly large city, but it could be from these road names. I'm assuming that the place where he disappeared from, where he lives, is a rural country area. So the Arkansas Department of Public Safety silver alert about his disappearance Thursday at the request of the Miller County Sheriff's Office. And once again, I'll give you his. He is a 5'10", 170 pounds, brown hair and a crew cut, blue eyes. And it says he might be wearing a hat and jacket shown in the photograph that authorities are sharing, which is this photograph here. You see the brown jacket and the brown, maybe camouflage hat that he's wearing there. He is also not believed to be traveling in a vehicle, so that's another thing that's concerning. He's most likely on foot. There was mention, somebody had asked in the comments, because I believe this information came from either the Morgan Nick Project Facebook page or the local Arkansas Justice Project, or one of the local law enforcement pages. Somebody asked if there was a possibility that had dementia. The question wasn't answered, but it's always a possibility. So anyone with information about Mr. Brown is being urged to call Sheriff's Detective Jeremy Poole at 870-774-3001. And it just gives a explanation of the silver alert. We know what silver alert is. But it does say time is of the essence when individuals, so he might have Alzheimer's, because it says the time is essential when individuals with Alzheimer's or other cognitive disorders wander off or become lost. So it is possible that he may have Alzheimer's or dementia. It says update. I think that's just a repeat of it. So that is Mr. Brown. So if you're in the Arkansas area, the Texarkana area, please keep a lookout. I don't know if they are, I think I read that they are not encouraging civilian searches right now. But you can help in other ways. You can bring food, water to all these first responders and searchers that are aiding in the search for Mr. Brown. That's always helpful. Provide them with a good meal, water, whatever they may need to keep them say sustainated. I don't know if that's the right word. Make sure they are have enough food and enough water to have the strength to keep going to search for Mr. Brown. So that was the article, the latest update on Mr. Brown. We have Joshua Graham Caskey. This is one from Arkansas, another strange one. You can go to, I will put a link if I remember to, hopefully I'll remember to the Facebook post. Once again, very small writing. Joshua left his home in Winterset, Iowa on January 18th or 19th after calling 911 for an unknown reason. He left his phone at his residence and was traveling in his, and I apologize for leaning into the camera, living in his 2013 green Ford Taurus, which is pictured there on the slide, with Iowa license plates. Authorities have confirmed that he did travel south through Kansas City Locust Grove in Oklahoma and into Fort Smith, Arkansas, before he was last seen on January 19th on a surveillance video in the Mena, Arkansas area. Neither he or his vehicle have been seen since. There have been unconfirmed sightings on January 31st in a Eagle Rock Loop area between February 17th and 19th in Arkansas around the Little Missouri Trail, and February 21st around Kings Bluff Falls, Missouri Trail. So he's out on a lot of hiking trails. Now, the thing that is, a lot of things are concerning. The thing is, he made a 911 call. Apparently, I don't think he said anything. It was a 911 hang up before he disappeared. And he was spotted on, like I said, some gas station or convenience store surveillance. It said that he didn't look like he was in any kind of excuse me, distress or anything wrong with him. But yet his family, and there have been rumors that he's okay, that he's been in contact with his family, but according to on the right side of the slide, hold on to finish the information. So it said he is 25 years old, 5'10", 100, and I think 65 pounds. Brown hair, brown eyes. If you have any information, please contact Winterset Police Department at 515-462-1423. So this comes from on the right, the Arkansas Justice Project, and it was posted, I believe, late last night or this morning. It says, despite comments on numerous posts, he is still missing. His disappearance is out of character, and he called 911 the night before he left for an unknown or undisclosed reason. Of course, it says adults can go out looking to connect with nature or search for a healing in the outdoors. But according to his family, this is not one of those situations. His behavior and patterns go against his nature, and the combination of events have led his family and friends to desperately seek out information on his safety and whereabouts. So, once again, he is most definitely missing. So, if you see any posts that say, he's been in touch with his family, he's fine, disregard this post. He has had no contact with his family, is still missing. Obviously, like I said, his family's very worried about him. So if you have any information, you can call the phone number I gave you or call 911 if you happen to see him here in Arkansas. He could be anywhere. Like I said, he's from Iowa. He has been seen in the Missouri and Arkansas area. So just keep an eye out for Joshua Graham Cassidy. Right. Promise you guys I'm going to get through all these as quickly as I can. This, I've been featuring this young man for about a week now. He is a runaway juvenile, Gerald Smith Jr. He was reported as a runaway out of Jacksonville, Arkansas on, when was it? It's been within the last couple of weeks. It says he is 5'10" with a skinny build and is likely headed toward Huntsville, Arkansas. If you see Gerald or know his whereabouts, where he's located, please contact Detective Dowdy at Jacksonville Police Department at 501-982-3191 or in person at 1400 Marshall Road, and it gives the report number. So please keep an eye out, once again, if you're in the Arkansas area, for this young man. We still have Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He went missing out of the Tennessee area. And once again, I apologize for leaning into the camera, but this writing on my phone is very small. He's just 15-year-old, a male, white male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'5", 130 pounds, missing from Sumner County, Tennessee. He went missing on February 26th. An Amber Alert has been issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian. Just goes over his. So I apologize. My eyes are really bad today. He was last seen in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. And I think I do have some additional information that it may just be the way that it's worded, but is kind of concerning for me. But I will read it to you and let you guys make a decision. And you can pop it in chat, or if you're watching replay, you can put it in the comments. So if you have any information about Sebastian, you can call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent Bobby Simmons at 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Detective Carter, 615-451-3838. And the additional information that I found that was posted this morning, today, on the Arkansas Justice Project. It says day 7 of the search for Sebastian Rogers. There have been no sightings of him in the neighborhood on any cameras, because they were asking anybody in that area to look at their surveillance, security cameras, Ring doorbell cameras, all the businesses around, to look at their cameras to see if they happen to have seen Sebastian, because apparently he wandered out in night, dressed in all black, carrying a flashlight. So that is very concerning, in my opinion. So there have been no sightings of him as of yet on any neighborhood cameras. It says the neighborhood is an upper middle class neighborhood. It has been canvassed for footage. Nothing found on the footage. Multiple canines did not pick up a scent or trail of him leaving the house. Now that might not, maybe something, it may be that, maybe nothing. But I found it odd and disturbing. Sorry, notifications are popping up on my phone again. That said that canines did not pick up a scent of him leaving the house. Over 300 officers, drones, dive teams have been searching. They have found no sign of Sebastian. It says that he went to bed at around 10 p.m. Sunday night, and he was gone by Monday morning. Police are, of course, requesting footage from Sunday afternoon. Sebastian does have autism and is without medication. And this is the part, I may be reading it wrong or misunderstanding, but it says law enforcement is saying that it is getting hard to believe that he is absconding. In other words, that he left of his own accord. So to me, like I said, I may be, please in chat or in replay, let me know, but just the way that is wording, that this is worded, and this comes from law enforcement. They're I'm just going to go, this is just pure speculation. I don't like to speculate, but just the way that this is worded, I'm just have this little nagging in the back of my head that I think this might be something other than a runaway. Of course, hopefully it turns out that it is not. Hopefully he is just didn't leave the house of his own accord, and it's just he has autism. He's lost his way. Doesn't know how to, communicate to people. But it just with them saying that they've found no footage yet, no sightings of him, and they say that law enforcement is getting, in their opinion, it's getting hard to believe that that this is absconding or disappearing of his own accord. Just makes me nervous. So anyway, that is just my opinion. But like I said, feel free to let me know. Hello, Mexie. Mexie is here. Welcome, Mexie. Yes, very sweet looking kid. I just, like I said, I'm starting to get the longer these missing children are missing, you get more and more worried. But this statement has me a little bit more worried. Maxie always says, or also says, this is concerning. Asleep at 10 and gone in the morning doesn't sound right. Yeah. Like I said, that's when I found this statement, latest statement, or the latest statement I found from law enforcement. It's got me worried. It's got me worried. Of course, if they are investigating anybody close to him, of course, I'm sure they're not going to release it publicly. But in my opinion, I have the feeling that they are maybe looking into some other possibilities besides him leaving of his own accord. But so we'll definitely keep an eye on this. I've been following it since it came out. I know a lot of you may have been following it too. So if any other information comes out, I will definitely let you guys know. Or if you guys find any information, please, you can email me. Let me throw my email address up right quick. You can email me down there, wildirish71@gmail.com. You can email me any information, or you can just pop a comment in chat right now, or in comments after the stream ends. But yeah, I'm worried about this one. Yeah, Mexie says, the upper middle class comment feels like law enforcement is trying to say something without saying it. That's what I was getting at. Like I said, the way they worded this makes me think that they think something else possibly. Now, it may not involve direct family members, but maybe, it could or couldn't, or it could involve a friend of the family. We don't know. Yeah, make this as, or those little ding dongs for doors opening and closing. Yeah, but yeah, you would think, unless he's just good at avoiding cameras, but we all know how many cameras are around these days, between the security cameras, the ding dong ring doorbells. And I don't know if in the neighborhood, I'm not familiar with this part of Tennessee, if there's any outside the neighborhood of gas stations, convenience stores, all usually have surveillance cameras. But apparently he has been seen not been seen on any surveillance cameras in the neighborhood or anywhere. Once again, the fact that the canine did not pick up a scent of him leaving the house. And then as I said again, with the statement from law enforcement, makes me think there's maybe, unfortunately, a little bit more to this than they're saying. But like I said, hopefully little Sebastian will be found safe and sound, because we don't need, Lord knows, we don't need any more children harmed, and we've had too many of those lately, unfortunately. All right, so next we have Ashley Stewart. She is missing out of the Memphis area. Once again, I'm going to have to get close to the screen. She is just 17 years old, black female, black hair, brown eyes, 5 foot, 5 foot something, 170 pounds. Missing from, it's in the Memphis area. So, like I said, once again, the writing on this is so small I can't read it. You can take a screenshot of it and enlarge it. But if you have any information about Ashley Stewart, if you're in the Memphis, Tennessee area, West Memphis area, anywhere around there, you can contact the Memphis Police Department, Sergeant Jennings, Missing Persons Bureau at 981-634-4447, or I think it's 901-545-2677. All right. So we made it through our current missing persons. So now we will get to our cold case missing persons, the whole purpose for this video. And today I'm going to take, I was going to do this as a premiere video like I've been doing because everybody likes that format. I was going to record this last night and then premiere it at about 11 today, but unfortunately I didn't feel good yesterday, and I laid down and I slept most of the day, and then I figured since I slept most of the day I would be up all night and I just get it recorded, but I went back to bed and slept, so I didn't get it recorded. So I just scheduled it for a live stream. But I'm going to take Junior Johnson's advice. I'm going to go through all the cases without stopping and starting to look at the comments. So during the presentation, if you have any questions or comments about any of the cases we're going to talk about, please pop it in the chat, or if you're watching replay, put it in the comments. I always read my comments and answer any questions. At the end of the presentation, I will go down through the comments and answer any questions or highlight any comments. When you're commenting or asking a question, since there's 6 cases, please give the name of the missing person that we're talking about, so I will know what case you're asking about. So anyway, that's the way we're going to do it. Make sure nobody else has popped in here. And at the end, I will say hi to anybody else has popped in. Mex is here. Michigan Wife is here. There's some lurkers here. Welcome, lurkers. Always glad to have everybody here. And I do have some additional information or articles for, I think, 4 of these cases that I will read to you. But we'll get through this as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So our first, once again, let me bring up the information. First missing person is Ira Lee Briscoe. What did I do? Oh, there we go. And this is one that has been popping up in, once again, either the Morgan Eaton Foundation Facebook page or the Arkansas Justice Facebook page. His family had posted he went missing on he's been missing since December of 2020, and his family members posted on their personal page, and Arkansas Justice Project website shared it. They're still desperately searching for him, and I didn't do. He also went missing with one of his friends, and I will give you a little bit of information about the friend. But he is still missing. It's been 4 years, almost 3 years. It'll be 4 years in December. His parents, of course, are desperately searching for him. They're asking anybody in the area. He went missing from West Plains, Missouri. Anybody in the area to search wooded areas, weeded areas, any structures, sheds, anywhere somebody could hide or be hidden. They're asking people to search, unfortunately, for remains. So that's why I wanted to include, and I was going to do a whole video, a case of the week or a missing person feature just on Ira's case, but there's not a whole lot of information, so I just decided to include him in today. So, like I said, he went missing December 17th, 2020 from West Plains, Missouri. He's a white male. He was 25 years old when he went missing. 5'10", 160 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He does have a tattoo of the phrase "Live Strong" on his back or shoulder, and he also has tattoos of deer and turkey tracks. Doesn't say where on the body these tattoos are. So Ira was last seen in West Plains, Missouri on December 17th, 2020. He has never been heard from again after that. His family reported him missing on December 23rd. So about 5 days later, he was reported missing. About a week after the missing person report was filed, His car, which was a 1995 Mercury Sable with Missouri license plates, was found at a scrapyard. So that's never good. Investigators stated that he may have given the vehicle to someone else prior to his disappearance. So if he did happen to give it away, they said it had little or no evidentiary value. His disappearance may be related to a shooting that happened the day before he went missing. Two people, both of whom were known to him, exchanged gunfire inside a residence in, I'm going to try not to butcher this, Koshkonong, Missouri. And because Briscoe knew both of the individuals involved, authorities are looking into the possibility that the incident was connected to his disappearance. So his roommate, Lamone Little, was last seen on December 15th, 2 days before Ira disappeared. Ira's disappearance and his friend Lamone's disappearance are related, but both are considered missing under suspicious circumstances. And of course, both disappearances remain unsolved. So if you have any information, if you're in the Missouri area, if you have any information about this case, please contact the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Oh no, wait a minute. The Howell County Sheriff's Office, I was reading the wrong thing, at 417-256-2544. And I do have an additional, if it will work. Oh, I was pushing the wrong buttons. Once again, technical difficulties. I do have an article with a little bit more information in the interviews with family members. Once again, if it'll come up. Like I said, so far, I shouldn't say it, but so far my computer is cooperating with me. Like I said, of course, as soon as I said that, close it out and try it again. Sometimes when I close out the tab and redo it. But if it doesn't, I do have a backup. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this comes from newsnationnow.com, and it is from March 16th of 2023. It says, after two roommates disappeared, family members want answers. So a little bit of information. Ira Lee Briscoe and Lamone Little were roommates living in Missouri. Ira's family believes that their disappearance could be linked, they say, to cartels. Once again, unproven, unconfirmed. And of course, police say the pair disappeared under suspicious circumstances. Family members are seeking any information on two roommates missing in Missouri who have not been seen in 2 years. Ira Lee Briscoe and Lamone Little were roommates living in West Plains, Missouri. They were last seen in December of 2020. There is little information on their disappearances, and police haven't even confirmed that the cases are connected or if their disappearances could be related to cartel activity in the area. SWAT and ads. This is an incredible mystery because there are so many things that could have happened. Law Olmstead, the president of the Missing Persons Center, told News Nation. Briscoe, Ira here, loved to play guitar. It's my southern kind coming out. Loved to play guitar. He learned to play guitar as a child, and the 25-year-old was teaching his own son to play. Once again, we have a child who has lost a parent. As a child, Ira battled leukemia, an experience his family said left him always living, quote, full throttle. So leukemia didn't slow him down. He kept going just in case the leukemia got worse. He wanted to live all the life that he could, just in case. The last time Marilyn Briscoe, Ira's mother, saw him was December 17th, 2020. Then Briscoe and his roommate, 49-year-old Little, vanished without a trace. The Howell County Sheriff's Office posted about Ira's disappearance online, noting he was, quote, reported missing under suspicious circumstances in a Facebook post. Ira's mother took to social media, pleading with people to come forward with information, and she is refusing to give up. Absolutely. Mamas and daddies don't give up looking for their children. The family admitted that Ira had gotten involved with substances over the years and possibly would have seen these cartels as a lucrative opportunity. This is just coming from the family, but they would know what is going on with their loved one. Marilyn, his mother, said, quote, he said, you don't have to worry about me anymore, Mom. I got it. I'm in with the cartels. So evidently he made statements. Now, whether or not he was telling the truth, we don't know. In an effort to find her son, his mother has held vigils, releasing balloons in his honor. She has also gone through dumpsters and climbed into caverns in an area to follow every tip about where her son could be. Or it's jumping with ads. His mother says, quote, I'm exhausted, totally exhausted. You know what all this is from? Is from me climbing in a cave the other day for 3 hours. Marilyn Briscoe knows her best hope is to find her son's remains. So, unfortunately, the family is treating this now as a recovery. So sad. She says, quote, I was praying, God, please just let me find him and let it be over. Just let it be over. But after 27 months of searching, she still has no answers. An update from police said that they have issued multiple search warrants and several potential burial sites have been excavated, but no human remains have been found as of the date this article was published. The sheriff referred to the case as an open investigation. It says the family has been frustrated with the lack of progress. I'm hoping that maybe they know some things that they just can't share, which absolutely could be the case, said Wendy Duncan, who is Ira's cousin. Center for Missing Persons President Law Olmstead said the lack of communication from law enforcement is an important factor in the case. There's also the fact that statements from the family and from law enforcement don't match up. He says, I've heard that there are people behind bars that may be related to the situation, but there's no true confirmation that any of the people that they have said have been suspects in this case have really not been named. That's not uncommon. They're not going to name unless they're formally charged. They're not going to name, law enforcement is not going to name them in public. There's been no release of information about what actually took place during the investigation. That is per normal, and I understand the family's frustration with lack of information released. But if they are onto something, if they do know or have a suspicion or have evidence about what happened in this case, they are not going to release the information, because if people are arrested and charged, if they have released information previously, it could jeopardize the case if it goes to court. I get frustrated too by lack of information, but I do understand. Obviously, you don't want anything that could, like I said, jeopardize any arrest or anything or any court proceedings. see if there's some more. Okay, I think that was the end of the article. So that is the latest on the Ira Lee Briscoe and Lamone Little. And I will put a link. Sorry, I was waving my cup in front of the camera again. I will go back in and put a link to the Charley Project, because all this information on the slides comes from the Charley Project. I will go back and put in a link to the Lamone Little, the other gentleman that went missing 2 days before Ira went missing. I will put his a link to his information from the Charley Project in the description box. All right, moving on. Oh, got to advance my slide. This is the on the left there is Ira Briscoe, shown playing the guitar. On the right is Lamone Little, the other gentleman, Ira's friend who went missing. Sorry, I forgot to advance the slide. All right, so next we have Echo Michelle Lloyd. This is one that one of my keep closing up the tab. One of my subscribers, viewers had because I'm always taking suggestions for and at the end I will go through the whole spiel about you can email me about any cases that you want to see featured. Echo Michelle Lloyd, I know I can't not remember right now who suggested that I look into this case. I was going to do a case of the week on it. I just haven't had time to do it because there's not a lot of information. She is still missing. She has not been found, but there are some very strange, and disturbing circumstances regarding her case. And once again, I have an article to read from with an interview with her daughter that gives some information. And the article gives some information about a possible person of interest. But Echo Michelle Lloyd went missing on May 10th, 2020 from Warsaw, Missouri. She is classified endangered missing. She is a white female, 47 years old when she went missing, 5'4", 100 to 110 pounds. It says that she does take several prescription meds for unspecified reasons. It says when she disappeared, she did take her medication with her, but she has not refilled her prescriptions since her disappearance. She has tattoos. She has the phrase "Let it be" with birds on her right forearm. It just says a band name with the name Kelsey, Casey, Caitlin, and Kylie. I think that's her children's names on her right wrist. A blue survivor ribbon on her wrist, a rose on her ankle, and a butterfly on the right side of her chest. So once again, I've had people comment and ask me, why do I give these details on someone that, we always hope for the possibility that they are still alive. But I give the information about any scars, tattoos, what they were last seen wearing, just in case, or just to jog people's memory. In this case, like I said, it's not very old. It's 4 years old. So I give this information, so hopefully it will jog somebody's memory. It says, yes, I saw somebody fitting this description. I saw these tattoos or these scars or driving this vehicle. So that's why I give this information, because all it takes, I say this in every video, all it takes is one little piece of information. You might not think it is significant. Anything that you see or think you saw or think that's related to any of these cases, report it. I give you the phone numbers, or you can look up these cases to get different phone numbers if you don't remember them from here. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too insignificant. So if you see something, say something. So, Echo was last seen in Warsaw, Missouri on May 10th, 2020, which was Mother's Day. Her adult daughter stopped by the house to visit her as she was not home. The door was locked and the car was not in the driveway. Her daughter left flowers and a note asking her mother to call her. and a Mother's Day card was left on the back porch. On May 11th, the next day, after Echo's daughter was unable to contact her by phone, she went back to the house. And although Echo's car was back in the driveway and locked, excuse me, Echo did not appear to be home once again. Her daughter went to a neighbor's who said that he had not, keep this neighbor in mind, apologize. It's allergy season down here. Her daughter went to the neighbors. The neighbor said that he had not seen Echo. The daughter went back to her mother's house, broke in through a window, and discovered she was missing. She was not in the house. According to the daughter, the house looked like someone other than her mother had been there recently. There was a pile of trash and moldy food sitting out, which the daughter says is uncharacteristic of Echo's housekeeping. Her vehicle, purse, wallet, cash, cigarettes, lighter, and most other belongings were left behind, but her keys, a firearm, her cell phone, and her medications, apparently she took with her, or somebody took them. Echo's daughter did find a Walmart receipt in the house dated May 10th with her mother's signature. As always, Echo has never been heard from again. Since Echo's disappearance, she has not used her cell phone, credit cards, or bank accounts. Her family fears she may have met with foul play, as it would be uncharacteristic of her to leave her family without any identification or money. And her case is unsolved. So if you have any information regarding Echo's case, please call the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 800-877-3452. So I do have this article that I have is very disturbing, has some very disturbing information. You guys, if you followed this case, you may know this. This is from originalnewsbreak.com website, and it is from September of 2023. Oh, let me remember to advance my slide. There we go. So it says the chilling disappearance of Echo Lloyd takes another mysterious twist. The neighbor, who, if you remember in the basic information, the daughter had gone and talked to the neighbor. The neighbor said, "Hey, I haven't seen her. Don't know what's going on." So the neighbor is under suspicion for good reason, in my opinion, according to the information in this article. It says mysterious clues surface in disappearance of Mother Echo Lloyd. In a mysterious turn of events surrounding the disappearance of Echo Lloyd, a 47-year-old mother who went missing in May of 2020, new evidence suggests that her neighbor might have had a significant role to play. Despite her absence for over 3 years, Echo's family remains hopeful and persistent in their search efforts. Once again, Echo was last seen in her residence in Edwards, Missouri, a considerable distance from Kansas City. Kelsey, her daughter, Kelsey was the one that took the flowers, the car. She went back the next day, wasn't there. She's the one that broke into the house. She's the one that talked to the neighbor. Kelsey recalls the unsettling moment when she visited her mother's home to leave a Mother's Day gift. And as I said earlier, Echo wasn't there. The car was gone. House was empty. Kelsey left the note on the porch urging her to get in touch with her. Her worries heightened after numerous unanswered phone calls. Kelsey returned to her mother's residence only to find the car was back there, but the house was empty. Disturbingly, When Kelsey entered the house, we went over that. It was in a unkempt condition, which Kelsey said was uncharacteristic. We mentioned all the things that were there, all the things that were missing. Kelsey mentioned it was evident someone unfamiliar had been there. The disorderly state was unlike my mother. I'm trying to get down to the information about the neighbor. So not long before Echo disappeared, she had confided in Kelsey about her concerns regarding a neighbor who seemed to have an unsettling influence over Echo. Echo had revealed how he, the neighbor, had taken control of her phone and her finances. The same neighbor, when confronted about Lloyd's whereabouts, which is when Kelsey, the daughter, went to ask the neighbor, he denied any knowledge, but he was found with Echo's phone. So he had, the neighbor in question had Echo's phone in his possession. And that's not all. Adding another layer of mystery, 2 weeks after Echo vanished, the grandfather with whom this neighbor resided was found deceased under suspicious circumstances. And in an even more shocking twist, items belonging to Echo, like her prescription meds and keys, which were not found at the house, were uncovered in the neighbor's home. So her prescription meds and her keys and maybe other possessions that were missing from the house were found in the neighbor's home. Although initially under the purview of the Benton County Sheriff's Department, the case has now been transferred to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Sheriff Eric Knox assured, quote, "We've been thorough in our investigation." As the search for Echo Lloyd persists, our family has initiated several campaigns to draw attention to her story, including a website, social media pages, and a fundraising campaign for hiring a private detective. When contacted, the Missouri State Highway Patrol and Lloyd's family were yet to comment. So, I would say, I'll go out on a limb and say, but please in chat, and I'll get to chat, like I said, after I'll get through all the cases, I'll go down and I'll go through all the comments and questions. And if you're watching replay, leave a comment in the comment section and question or comments, and I will get to those too. But yes, in my uneducated opinion, this neighbor, if they found her phone and her possessions, the keys, the prescription meds in his house, he had her phone. We have the mysterious grandfather that he was supposedly taking care of, deceased under suspicious circumstances. And I think they said he was found in another article I read that this deceased grandfather was actually found in the basement of the neighbor's home. So yeah, I would think that the neighbor very suspicious to say the least. Okay, so next we have Rachel Louise Cooke. Get her information going. Rachel went missing in January of 2002 from Georgetown, Texas. She is, sorry, my eye's itching. She is classified endangered missing. She is a white female. She was just 19 years old when she went missing. 5'2", 110 to 120 pounds. She was last seen wearing a green sports bra, gray shirt tied around her waist, gray shorts or sweatpants, and white Asics or Adidas sneakers. Says she was carrying, what year was this from? 2002. A bright yellow Sony Walkman portable radio cassette player with headphones. I didn't know they still made Walkmans. I know Walkmans were really popular back in the late 80s and early 90s. There is an associated vehicle we will get to. She had blonde hair, hazel eyes. She had auburn streaks in her hair at the time of her disappearance. She has two heart-shaped cherries tattooed on her left shoulder and a black star tattooed on her left foot near her pinky toe. She has multiple ear piercings, with one piercing in the upper cartilage, and her navel is also pierced. So Rachel was visiting her parents' home in the North Lake subdivision of Georgetown, Texas in early 2002. She was on winter vacation from her school at San Diego Mesa College in San Diego, California. She was last seen by her family at 8 a.m. on January 10th, 2002, when her mother had left for work. Apparently, when her mother left for work, she said that Rachel was still asleep at this time on the couch. Rachel departed the family's residence for her daily 4-mile run during the morning hours that day. This was sometime after her mother left the house. She is believed to have started her run at approximately 9:30 a.m. She was last seen between 11 and 11:30 a.m. near Natchez Trail, Neches, which is just, I said, 100 to 200 yards from the family residence. So about 1 to 2 football fields away from the residence. Rachel never returned to the residence and has not been heard from again. She was missed at 3 p.m. that day when her father came home to take her shopping and could not find her. Witnesses told authorities that an unidentified male was driving a late model white or blue Chevy Camaro or Pontiac Trans Am with white or black stripes along the hood and the trunk in the area where Rachel disappeared. He was reportedly speaking to another female jogger at the time. So apparently there's another jogger out there besides Rachel. And this reminds me, we've had the Rachel Mourn case, who was out jogging, ended up deceased by homicide. Just recently this week, we had the Lake and Raleigh case in Georgia. She was out jogging on a jogging path, was attacked, and her life was taken. Lost my place. So this man in either the Chevy Camaro or the Pontiac Trans Am was seen talking to another female jogger. The man is described as being in his late teens to early 20s with slicked back black hair. He had a dark complexion and he may have been Hispanic. Some witnesses reported seeing a man inside the vehicle, which traveled along a Navajo Trail and turned southbound onto the Natchez Trail. Some witnesses claim to have seen 2 men inside this car. Authorities are also searching for information concerning a white pickup truck that was seen in the North Lake subdivision on the day that Rachel disappeared. This vehicle may have had a wide, dark-colored stripe across its lower portion. Witnesses stated that the sports car and the truck did stop along the road to speak to the jogger. Now, when they say jogger, I don't know if they mean Rachel or this other jogger that was out. But they were seen, according to witnesses, the truck stopped to talk to a jogger shortly after Rachel's disappearance. So apparently, the witnesses, if they saw correctly, this was after Rachel disappeared, and they were seen possibly talking to another jogger. So that's scary. Investigators announced that one of the possible unidentified witnesses contacted authorities voluntarily 1 week after Rachel vanished. This individual was cleared of any involvement in her case. So we do kind of have a possible resolution or the beginnings of some justice in this case if this information what this person of interest suspect said. So in August of 2006, and I think I forgot to include a picture of him, Michael Keith Moore did confess to Rachel's homicide. He stated that he attacked Rachel while jogging, knocked her unconscious. Trigger warning. I probably should have put the banner up, but trigger warning. He stated he attacked Rachel while jogging, knocked her unconscious, drove her somewhere, SA'd her. After taking her life, he wrapped her body in a tarp, weighted it down with rocks, and threw it into Matagordo Bay. This Michael Keith Moore has an extensive criminal history. He has spent nearly all of his adult life in prison. His father said that he began to get in trouble with the law at the age of 13, and many of his known offenses involved SA misconduct and or violence. At the time of his confession in Rachel's case, he was already in police custody after being convicted of taking the life of a pregnant woman. He agreed to plead guilty to Rachel's case in November of 2006 in exchange for a sentence of life in prison. But in court, he reneged. He took back his confession, and he pleaded not guilty in Rachel's case. He went on to tell the media that he had just been toying with authorities when he confessed to Rachel's homicide, and that he got special treatment in prison in exchange for his cooperation. Scumbag. Sorry, I just add that in there. He stated he had nothing to do with her disappearance, and the police should have known that, according to him. Prosecutors announced that he will go to trial for Rachel's case. Her remains have not been found, but investigators believe that his confession was accurate. Says that Rachel was an accomplished cross-country runner at the time of her disappearance. All of her personal belongings were left behind at her family's home, where her parents and younger sister then resided. Unfortunately, her father passed away of natural causes in November 2014 at the age of 59. At the time of her disappearance, Rachel was a student at Mesa Junior College in California. She was planning to transfer to a college in Los Angeles to study fashion design. Says that she has no history of leaving her family home without warning, and she has always left a note saying where she would be going. Foul play, obviously, is suspected in her case due to the circumstances involved. So if you have any information about Rachel or her case or this Michael Keith Moore character, you can contact the Williamson County Sheriff's Department at 512-943-1300. So I'm just going to, I'm going to try not to babble a whole lot, but with this Michael Keith Moore character, and please, you guys in chat or in replay, let me know what you guys think, because like I said, after I get done with all the cases, I'm going to go through all the comments and questions. With the information just given in this Charley Project information, I read off all the things that he was, his dad said he had been in trouble since he was 13. Most of his convictions and things that he'd been arrested for involved SA and violent crime. He took the life of a pregnant lady. He at first confessed to Rachel's homicide, saying that he get back down to saying that he attacked Rachel, made her unconscious, drove her somewhere, SA'd her, wrapped her body in a tarp, threw it in the Matagordo Bay. Like I said, extensive criminal history with SA conduct and or violence. In my opinion, now once again, please let me know in chat or in comments. In my opinion, this man could possibly qualify as a serial offender, a SA type I can't say the S word, an SA type serial offender. So I'm sure hopefully the police are looking into other unsolved cases in that area and areas that this fella has been known to be in for his whole life, apparently since the age of 13. Hopefully they're looking into any unsolved cases, homicide cases, but because like I said, this is just my uneducated opinion, but just from everything I've read about serial offenders, this, in my opinion, he would at least have enough criteria to be at least be investigated or looked at as a possible serial offender. Very scary fellow. I probably forgot to. Oh, and I do, I think, have an article about Rachel's case. A little bit more information. Yeah, advance my slide while I'm waiting for it to come up. Yeah, there we go. Come on, it's being slow as usual. Kind of like me today. A little bit slow today as usual. There we go. All right, so this comes from Fox 7 Austin website. It is from January of this year, so very recent. Rachel Cooke missing for 22 years, where her case stands today. And it says this month, which was January of this year, marks more than 2 decades since a Georgetown teen disappeared. What's done is done, said Janet Cooke, who is Rachel's mom. We cannot change that. The damage psychologically for my family can't be brought back. 22 years is a long time to wait for answers, most definitely. She says, I want people to know that we are working on, I know this is Mark McKinney, who is a detective working on Rachel's case. He says, I want people to know that we are working on this. It's not just sitting on a shelf somewhere. There is a team of us down here that do nothing but work on this case. We do it every day, full time. Fox 7 Austin did sit down with Rachel's family just before the anniversary of her disappearance. Rachel was a very vivacious, not afraid to try new things kind of girl, said Cook, who I'm assuming is her mother. They keep her memory alive while investigators search for her. Her mother says she loved fashion, she loved her friends, she loved life. She was 19 years old when she went missing. She was going to school at San Diego Mesa College in California. She had her whole life ahead of her until she went for a run on January 10th, 2002. Her neighbors were the last people to see her, just like I said, early 100 to 200 yards away from the family home on the Navajo Trail. They said that she looked like she was returning home from her run. Over the years, there have been countless interviews that have been done on this case. McKinney said there have been countless follow-ups. There have been potential suspects' cars and even a white Trans Am, which caught the eye of investigators. But unfortunately, that they have not been able to link any of that evidence or anything to Rachel's case. McKinney said the case is further along now, potentially waiting on one thing. He says we just need the right piece of information, maybe to tie some things together. So like I said, they may have pieces of information and they may need just that one other little piece of information that conclusively ties everything together, maybe as far as the suspect they have. It just takes that one little piece of information. McKinney said this case has taken so long to solve, partially because of a less advanced technology in the early 2000s and a lack of witnesses. Detective McKinney went on to say, this has to be a pretty big weight on you that you've been carrying for 22 years. That is a long time to do that. Absolutely. I know the family, of course, it weighs on the family, but it does also weigh on these detectives. And in these cold cases, they carry them around for years. They work on them. Some of them even end up having to retire before these cases that they've worked on for so long have been solved. And I feel for these dedicated detectives that work on these cases, these cold cases. As of 2024, Rachel will be 41 years old. Her family and investigators are still not letting go of the hope that someone will say something and end their 22 years of waiting. Her mother says, I could go on with the truth, and whoever did it, maybe the truth coming out would make a difference in their life. It's a matter of opinion, because once again, anybody who would do something like this, in my opinion, has issues and probably does not care about, doesn't have a conscience. It's just my opinion, though. There we go. Okay. She says, I personally think, oh no, Detective McKinney says, I personally think that this case will be solved eventually. I think with the information we have and with the information we're likely to get, I do think that eventually we will have an answer. The sheriff's office encourages anyone who might know something in regards to this case to finally speak out and call them at 512-943-5204. So that is the latest on Rachel Cooke. Hopefully somebody will come forward and with some information to help get some closure for this case, get some justice for Rachel, some closure for her family. That's it. That's all we can hope for. All right, next we have Stephen Glenn Bovard. Information. Stomach's growling. I'll have to find some lunch after I get done with this. So Stephen Glenn Bovard went missing on January 31st, 1983 from Zachary, Louisiana. Is a white male. He was 20 years old when he went missing, 5'6", 135 pounds. He was last seen wearing a gold chain and a white gold ring with a small diamond. He had brown hair and green eyes. So Stephen was last seen at the home of a Zachary, Louisiana man, Bobby Joe Ferguson, who you see on the bottom. On the left-hand side of the slide, of course, the top is Stephen Bovard. The bottom is Bobby Joe Ferguson. He will come in, play a part in this case. So Stephen was last seen at the home of Bobby Joe Ferguson on January 31st, 1983. His parents, with whom he lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, reported him missing after he did not come home for several days. Of course, he has never been heard from again. On February 3rd, his truck was found abandoned and burned in the Tunica Hills, northwest of St. Francisville, Louisiana. Once again, never a good sign. I find in a lot of these cases that when some vehicles involved, they find them burned, possibly to destroy any evidence. That would be my guess. A week before he vanished, Stephen had been arrested on substance charges. Police confiscated 12 grams of coke, some tablets, 1.5 pounds of the Mary Jane, a firearm, and $5,000 in cash. So just from this information, I would just go out on a limb, make an assumption. Once again, I hate saying I don't make assumptions, that this case possibly has something to do with substances, unfortunately, because this was back in 83, back in the 80s. Substances were very prolific. So a week before Stephen vanished, I went to that. So after he was arrested and found with all this stuff, he was facing a minimum of 10 years in prison if convicted, unless he chose to cooperate with the investigation. So this information too could have something to do with his disappearance. Investigators believe that Stephen is deceased, and they issued a warrant for this Bobby Joe Ferguson for a second-degree in the case, but Bobby Joe Ferguson fled to avoid arrest. Another suspect, Morris Ronald Allen, was charged in March 1993 with being an accessory to second degree after the fact. This Morris Ronald Allen told investigators that on February 4th, he had helped Bobby Joe Ferguson dump a carpet wrapped, excuse me, a carpet wrapped body, once again, weighted down with 2 tire rims. They dumped it into the Atchafalaya River, which is near Krotz Springs, in Louisiana. He claims that he didn't see whose body was in it, but saw an arm and knew it was a human body. Authorities did search the river with sonar. They did find an object which they thought was a body, but conditions prevented divers from recovering it. When police checked Bobby Joe Ferguson's home, there was blood on the wall and ceiling, and a section of carpet had been cut out. Stephen, the victim, was employed as a mechanic with Odom Offshore Surveys at the time of his disappearance, and he had worked there, they said, for about a year. It says the outcome of the homicide case is unknown, but foul play is suspected, obviously, due to circumstances. So if you have any information about this case, about Stephen's disappearance, this Bobby Joe Ferguson's whereabouts, this Ronald, I say his name was Ronald something. Anyway, if you have any information about this case, you can contact the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office at 225-389-5000. And I don't think, I looked for some updated information about this case, but I don't think there was any. Nope. Okay, so next we have Mary Jimmie Bobo Shinn. Bobo was her nickname. And Mary Shinn went missing on July 20th, 1978 from Magnolia, Arkansas. She was a white female. She was 25 years old when she disappeared, 5'6", 118 pounds. She was last seen wearing several pieces of jewelry, including a custom designed gold necklace with 3 diamond pendants. There's an associated vehicle that we will get to. She has brown hair, brown eyes. She had a scar on her left cheek and a birthmark on her forehead. And like I said, her nickname is Bobo. So in articles I'm going to read and information, when I say Bobo, it's referring to Mary Shinn. So Mary was last seen in Magnolia, Arkansas on July 20th, 1978. She owned an art studio on Magnolia Street. She taught regular classes there. She was trying to sell a house on East McNeil Street, and she had advertised about it in the newspaper. Authorities believe that she showed the house to an unknown man at around 4 p.m. on July 19th. He reportedly wanted to trade her house for a parcel of land that he owned on Taylor Highway, which was 9 miles south of town. But apparently, Bobo did not seem to think this transaction would go through. At 11 a.m. on July 20th, however, Mary got a call from the man, and he said that he wanted to see the house again. He told her his car was in for repairs and that he needed needed to take a cab to East McNeil Street. They agreed to meet at the Easy Mart, which was across the street from Mary's art studio, and that they would go together to the house on McNeil Street. Mary told a friend to expect her back by 1:30 p.m. She was never seen or heard from again. A carpenter who had been working across the street from the house that Mary was selling recalled having seen her with a man on the day of her disappearance. He placed this sighting between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. The man is described as a Caucasian, 25 to 28 years old, with dark brown collar-length hair, medium-length beard, and mustache. 6'1" to 6'2", 215 to 225 pounds. This man wore a mesh baseball cap. He drove a dark green Pontiac with a lighter green vinyl top. And it said that this was possibly a 1969 to 1970 or 1972 Bonneville or Catalina model. Police are uncertain whether the man that this witness described actually had anything to do with Mary's disappearance. However, because a neighbor who took his lunch break at around 11:30 a.m. that day did closely resemble the witness description, and they think that the carpenter may have seen this man instead of the man that Mary was going to meet to go see this house. But there was a more promising sighting that came from a young girl who was at the Easy Mart at 11 a.m. the day that Mary disappeared. She said a man came in and asked for a quarter to make a phone call. She said he spoke on the payphone for 5 minutes and left. Because this information corresponds to known facts about Mary's disappearance, investigators believe the man this witness saw may have been the man who was supposed to meet Mary. He is described as Caucasian in his mid-20s with dark curly hair, approximately 5'8" tall, and 185 to 200 pounds. So Mary's blue 1976 Buick Special was found unlocked with the keys inside at Smitty's Grocery on the afternoon that her disappearance. 2 employees at the store said that they saw it there at 1 p.m., but the police did not secure it until 5 or 6 p.m. that evening. By the time law enforcement got control of the vehicle, several people had been inside it and may have disturbed a potential crime scene. So possible that there could have been evidence in there that was, unfortunately, could have been destroyed. But that happens, unfortunately. Authorities stated the items found inside the car indicated that Mary had not left of her own accord. Her navy blue denim purse was emptied out on the driver's side floor with its contents scattered around the floorboard. Her white canvas sneakers were pushed under the gas and the brake pedals. A pair of sunglasses and a novel were also found in the car. Her wallet was there with some cash inside, but her address book was missing. So that was odd. You would think if there was a wallet there with cash in it, it would have been taken, but it was not taken, apparently. The rear left fender of the Buick had deep scratches in the paint, and inside the car were seeds and bits of grass that investigators believe led them to believe that it was driven into some kind of meadow or weeded area. The man that Mary was supposed to see on the day of her disappearance has never been identified, although various suspect names have surfaced over the years. In spite of an extensive investigation, there's been no trace of Mary since 1978. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. So if you have any information about this case, you can contact the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 870-234-5331. And I believe I do have an article to go over just excerpts from it because I'm not going to repeat the basic information that I've already given you, if it'll come up. There we go. And this comes from myarklamiss.com. And it is from August of 2022. So a couple of years ago, or about a year and a half ago. So Mary Shinn, affectionately known as Bobo of Magnolia, Arkansas, was a 25-year-old art teacher who dabbled in real estate. Swat some ads. So it goes over what we discussed about her disappearance. So according to former Magnolia dispatcher Cliff Knowles, he said, and I believe it's talking about Mary's mother. He says, quote, she, meaning Mary's mother, walked in and she looked worried. And I said, quote, Miss Shinn, are you all right? And she said, well, I'm worried about Bobo, meaning Mary. Knowles took the missing persons report from Mary's mother. And apparently this dispatcher had also went to school with Mary. And he took action immediately, it says. Her car had been found behind the local grocery store. Clearly something was wrong. We went over how the car was found. Columbia County Sheriff Mike Lowe said there was gravel, dirt, grass, and latent impressions in the car. Fingerprints were found inside, but they have yet to be identified. And Lowe indicated, in his opinion, that the person who committed this crime was a local person. He says, quote, the best timeline that we could put together from the time she disappeared until the time her vehicle showed back up at Smitty's grocery store parking lot is approximately 57 minutes, so less than an hour. And so he says, so that vehicle did not go very far. So in my opinion, that means that they think that wherever, unfortunately, most likely Mary's remains are somewhere within an hour of the place she disappeared from. So he says, or Sheriff Lowe said, 44 years later, the case may be cold, but it is not closed. I never give up. The answers are out there. And this is according to Sheriff Lowe. In a cemetery just outside of Magnolia is a headstone in remembrance of Bobo. And although she has been declared legally deceased, there is still no closure for her family. Knowles told KTVE, quote, both her parents, unfortunately, passed away not knowing what happened to their daughter. He said, that hurts me more than anything thinking about that. So sad. Over time, Sheriff Lowe interviewed witnesses and sent evidence to the FBI for another look in hopes that advances in DNA technology would produce new leads in the case. So let's hope something comes of that. So once again, if you have any information in this case, submit your tip to the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 870-234-5655. And once again, I forgot to advance my slide. You can advance. I have to do it manually. And so that was the article I read from, and that in the picture there is Cliff Knowles, who was the dispatcher at the time that Miss Shinn went in to talk to, that also went to school with Mary. All right, I believe this is our last case. This is Angela, and this involves two, unfortunately, a mother and her son. This is a horrible case. Let me grab her information right quick. This is Angela Christine Mack and her son, Thomas Retu. They disappeared from Salem, Arkansas in 2002. Again, I'm waiting. There it is. So Angela Christine Mack disappeared on September 1st, 2002 from Alton, Missouri. And this is lots of things to unpack in this case, so we'll get through it quickly but efficiently, I hope. She was 20 years old when she went missing, 5'3", 100 pounds. Associated vehicles that we will get to. She had blonde hair, blue eyes. Her nickname is Angie, and she may use the last name Mack Cox. So Angie and her son, Thomas Retu, who is the smaller picture there is little Thomas, initially disappeared from Salem, Arkansas in 2002. They left in a late model dark gray or blue Chevrolet or GMC extended cab pickup truck with Missouri license plates. Sorry. Following her departure from Arkansas, later in the fall of 2002, Angie left Thomas in the care of an Alton, Missouri couple, Clarence and Barbara Cruson. Now, the Crusons claimed that they were going to adopt little Thomas, but there were also reports that Angie had sold Thomas to them. Now, this has never been confirmed in any of the articles, research I've done, that she had offered to sell them her son. So after leaving Thomas in their care, Angela traveled to Chowchilla, California. She spent some time there and was there when she last spoke to her mother in December of 2002. She told her mother then that she was going back to Missouri to get Thomas back from the Crusons. Someone picked her up at the bus station in Springfield, Missouri, and took her to the residence where Thomas was staying at the time. Angela has not been seen since, and Thomas also disappeared at the same time. And for unclear reasons, their disappearances were not reported until August of 2004, nearly 2 years later. And we'll get to, there is some resolution to this case. Authorities did not learn about this proposed adoption that Angie was supposedly the Crusons were going to adopt Thomas. Then we have the rumor that Angela was going to sell Thomas to the Crusons. But the authorities did not learn about this proposed adoption until October of 2020, which was 16 years after the missing persons reports were filed. And by this time, Clarence was deceased. And apparently, he was GSW'd by another man in Laredo, Texas in 2012. And Barbara Cruson, as of the time this Charley information was put in, is still alive. So now we get into the meat and potatoes of this. So when interviewed, Barbara Cruson told police that she and her husband had a lawyer draw up papers so that they could adopt Thomas, and that Angela had signed these papers before she went to California. After Angela changed her mind and wanted her son back, apparently this angered the Crusons. Barbara stated that she and her husband were the ones that picked up Angela at the bus station when she came back from California and took her back to their home in Alton, which I believe is in Missouri. And the next day, both Angela and Thomas were gone. Clarence told Barbara that someone had to come and pick them up, but Barbara said that she did not hear a vehicle come to the house or leave the previous night or that morning. Barbara was given a polygraph, which she reportedly failed. After her polygraph exam, she stated that Clarence had took the lives of both Angela and Thomas and destroyed their bodies in a furnace on the farmhouse. Later, when the Cruisons moved away from the farm, Clarence told Barbara that they had to get rid of the furnace because of what it had been used for. So Angela was married at the time of her disappearance, but she was in a relationship with another man named Matthew Niederbach. They had one son together who was left behind when Angela and Thomas disappeared. Both Angela's husband and this Niederbach, that was her, she was in a relationship in the time, both lived in Salem, Arkansas. Little Thomas here is Angela's son by a previous relationship, and his biological father passed away in Idaho in 2019. So investigators do believe that Barbara Cruison's statements are accurate and that Angela and Thomas their lives were taken by Clarence. Their bodies have never been found, unfortunately. So if you have any information, if you're in the Salem, Arkansas area, in the California area, may have seen Angela, in the Alton, Missouri area, you can contact the Salem, Arkansas Police Department at 870-895-2601. I believe I do have an article. I'm not going to get, once again, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'm just going to read the interviews with, I believe, Angela's brother. And this is from NWA Northwest Arkansas homepage.com, and it is from April of 2021. It says a closer look, closure for the family of missing Angela Mack Cox and her son Mikey. Veteran Fulton County Sheriff's Office investigator Dale Weaver says he has solved a 2002 missing person case. Angela Mack Cox and her four-year-old son, Thomas Michael Mikey Retu. On Wednesday, April 7th, around 2 p.m., Fulton County Sheriff's Office investigator Weaver contacted Angela's dad, Phil Mack, and her brother, Joe Malott, and told them he had information that he wanted to share with them, and that a person had confessed to what happened to Angela and Mikey, or Thomas. Weaver said the FBI could answer further questions about the case, Joe Malott, Angela's brother, said. So according to what Joe Malott was told, it says the person who confessed, which was Barbara Cruison, said that she and her husband had been taking care of Angela's son Mikey while Angela was in California. Angela returned to California she was picked up by a woman from the Springfield, Missouri bus depot. The woman took Angela to the family farm in Alton, Missouri, where they lived with Mikey. The next day, after arriving at the farm, Angie and Mike were never seen again. The couple lived in Missouri, and at some point, Barbara and the Cruisons moved to Virginia. Angie's brother Joe believes that the information to be true, mainly because the FBI in Virginia was involved, and they did the polygraph on Barbara Cruison, who failed, quote, miserably. And that word was said by the FBI agent, according to Joe, Angela's brother. The woman told Barbara Cruison told the FBI that her husband admitted to taking the life of Angie and Mikey. Joe said the FBI told him the woman did not come forward sooner, meaning Barbara Cruison, because she was in fear for her life. The FBI agent told Joe once when they were fighting, apparently when Barbara and Clarence were fighting, Clarence said, quote, "If you don't straighten up, I'll do the same thing to you that I did to Angie and Mikey." And so we know, I said the man, Clarence, his life, he was taken out by somebody in Laredo, Texas. For years, Joe and his brother Greg have asked the Fulton County Sheriff's Office about their missing sister and nephew. We felt like we got blown off by the Fulton County Sheriff authorities, said Joe. Then Greg created a missing person Facebook page, but that got little traction, so we took it down. A little less than a year ago, one of Angela's school friends contacted me, Tiffany Thomas, who started the Justice for Angie Facebook page, got me started again with the search for my missing sister. Joe plans to do a DNA test and get that sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab, something he said he's requested for a long time. He said that Detective Weaver emailed him the forms to do that. It still leaves questions for the family about Wednesday's news from Weaver. The family, Joe said, her brother said, I would like to find her remains. I believe that was all. Okay, so almost 2 hours in. That's not bad. All right, so those are our, and once again, I forgot to advance the slide. I'll have to do it. Let me close this out. I'm done with that. Ooh, I'm about to go. Lots of comments to go through. Oh, well, I'm pushing the wrong button. Yeah, that was from the article I read. All right, that was our last case. Let me go back through comments. Who's here? Michigan Wifey was here. Mexie is here. Was here. Mexie said that she had never heard of the Echo Lloyd case either. Yeah, somebody, I don't think it was Dandy, but somebody here a few months ago, one of the live streams, I was asking, for, if anybody has a case, to give it to me, and somebody had mentioned the Echo Lloyd case. But yeah, definitely, I'm going to keep up with it. That was the one with the neighbor. The neighbor was found in possession of Echo's phone, her meds. His grandfather, who had been supposedly taken care of, had mysteriously ended up deceased, and I believe he had put him in the basement. So yeah, definitely the neighbor is setting off the red flags and the radar there. Yes, thank you, Michigan Wifey says, please hit that thumbs up button for the video. All right, let me go out and make sure I didn't miss any comments. Make sure my computer didn't freeze up. Oh, that's good. All right, guys. So that were can't use my proper English. Those were our 6 missing person cases for this week. If you found this video or this live stream or video, if you're watching it on replay, if you found it informative, interesting, helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. I upload a new missing person Monday, either a video or do a live stream every Monday. Friday, I feature a case of the week. Sometimes during the week, on Wednesday or anytime during the middle of the week, as of right now, while I'm not working. If any current true crime in the news, if there's any breaking news or anything we need to get caught up on, or if there's any updates in cases that we follow, I'll do a live stream or a video with updates. Sometimes on Friday nights or usually Saturday nights, I will do what we call True Crime After Dark, a little bit later at night, usually around 9 or 10 o'clock Central U.S. time, where I just put together some, like I said, once again, current true crime that's going on in the news, or any updates on any cases that we've been following. and then we can talk about we usually devolves into talking about anything and everything, either true crime related or not. It's kind of a little bit looser format. Of course, we still are serious, taking care of business with these horrible stories that are happening, but a little bit looser format. So if you and I usually schedule them, and if I'm going to do a late night live stream, I'll schedule it the day before to give people plenty of notice. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell to get notifications when I upload new videos or go live. Like, share, comment. Once again, all those things help small channels like mine tremendously. For YouTube to algorithm to push it out to more people. That is the most important thing, is to get this information on these missing persons and cold cases out to as many people as possible. You can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. I do put things in the group and on the page that I do not put on YouTube, so you get some different content over on Facebook. If you ever have any questions or comments about anything, you can email me there. I think I'm pointing to it down there at the email address below, or you can always pop a comment in any of my videos or live streams. I get notifications if anybody comments, so I'll definitely see them. If there's a case that is close to your heart, you may have known the victim, it may have happened in your hometown, home city, home state, or just any case that you've heard of that you think is not getting enough attention or needs more awareness, email it to me. The victim's name, the state it occurred in, any information you have, I will research it to the best of my ability. I'll could be feature. Might feature it as a case of the week, include it in my missing persons. I will feature it somehow, some way, to bring more awareness to it. That is what I'm here for. If you would like to help support the channel and the search for the missing, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee account, a PayPal Me account. I do now have a Venmo account. I have Southern Gals True Crime merchandise. All those links can be found in the description of this live stream, and also in the About section of my page. So any and all donations are greatly appreciated. I'm getting closer to being able to, with this new YouTube policy, to have limited monetization. I've surpassed the required 500 subscribers. Now we're working on getting the 3,000 hours of watch time, and I'm over 2,400 of the 3,000 watch hours required to qualify for super chat, super stickers, super things like that. So that's what we're striving for. So share, watch, get those watch times up. I don't care if, of course I want you to watch my videos, the content, but you can just, sometimes I do the same thing. I'll be doing something with other creators, and I'll just put a video on and listen to it in my earbuds while I'm doing the housework or whatever. That still counts as watch hours. So if we get to 3,000 watch hours, I can start accepting super chat, super stickers. All right, I think that is all my shameless plugging that I have to do. Let me see if we got any more comments before I go. Thank you, Michigan Wifey says, very interesting and good to listen while planting some flower seeds. Awesome. Yep, it's I don't know about Michigan, but apparently in Michigan it's flower planting season. Down here in Arkansas, it's getting there. And I'm looking out the window. The skies are getting a little bit darker, so I'm gonna have to go when I get done here in just a second. Go check the weather. We're supposed to have the storms moving in, some severe. They're saying the tornado were possibly, but hopefully it won't come to that. But so thank you, Michigan Wife, for being here. Makes it says smash that like, ding that bell, and share. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, like, share, comments. If I understand it, excuse me, if you can't afford to donate money. Oh my gosh, I know what's going on with my voice. Allergies. Allergies and the change of the weather. You know, if you can't afford to donate, subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, watching videos, that all helps. It's free. It just takes a little bit of your time, and it is very much appreciated. So thank you, Maxie, for that. We go back through. Thank you, Maxie, for being here. Michigan Wifey. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. All lurkers that were here, welcome, lurkers. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry, guys. My voice is going out. Thank you to everybody who was here that was lurking. Always, as always, thank you to everybody who watches on replay. Please don't forget to hit that like button. I think that's it. So until next time, which I don't know when that will be, I'll definitely have a case of the week. I believe I'm going to do I've got to get it worked up. I'll work on that while I'm still filling out job applications and trying to set up some interviews to get back to work. I will get my case of the week. Don't know if I'm going to do a video premiere or a live stream on that. I haven't decided yet, but I will let you know by the time Friday rolls around. Like I said, if something earth-shattering, breaking news happens during the week, I'll either do a video or do a live stream. So, until next time, please take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Take care of each other. That is the most important thing we can do, is take care of our fellow human being. Thank you once again, everybody who is here, everybody who is watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.